Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, 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 everybody. It is Tuesday, and you guys know what goes down here on Tuesday. Wife Chat goes down here on Tuesday. So do me a huge, huge favor. Make sure that you're hitting the share button and letting all my one sexy wives know that it's Tuesday. I pray that your week is off to an amazing start. Mine is. God has been so good to Gail. I can't complain. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Do me a huge, huge favor. Make sure that you're putting in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love, love, love to give you a shout out. And again, I just pray that your week is off to an amazing start for me. My week is off to a great busy start, which is normal. So again, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you was able to spend some time with your family. Hi, Amarion from Nashville. Hi, Rosalinda from Illinois. You guys, thank you so, so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Make sure that you're putting in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love, love, love to give you a shout out. And again, as you guys know, I shot a TV pilot, so it's in editing phase, and I got to see it, and oh my God, it's just amazing. So I'll keep you guys abreast on what's going on. Hi, Locker from Ohio. I appreciate you. From Ohio, I appreciate you. So again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me from Tennessee, Illinois, and Ohio so far. I'll keep you guys posted, but I was really excited. I was in tears when I seen it. And so I'll let you guys know when the viewing and, all that stuff going to be. Not viewing, that sounds like a funeral or something, but when we're going to have the, I'll let you know. Anyway, and I will probably stream it as well for those of you guys who are not in the DMV area. So tonight's chat comes from a wife from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hello, Phila from Jacksonville, North Carolina. I know where North Carolina is. Me and my husband used to be stationed there for years. Thank you so much for joining me. And so this comes from a wife from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And she pretty much said in big bold letters, Dr. Gail, am I the problem in my marriage? She says, I have been married 17 years. We have one child. My husband is always telling me that I am not self-aware and that I mainly always cause all the problems in our marriage, especially the arguments. I am a very strong woman with a strong opinion, but I don't think that I'm out of control. My husband thinks that he is perfect because he doesn't like to argue or he does not like conflict at all. Hi, I'm Deborah from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. So we have Tennessee, Illinois, Ohio, Jacksonville, and Georgia. You guys, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. So she says he doesn't like conflict and he doesn't like arguments, but she does not think she's the problem. So again, anytime somebody sends me a chat, I always try to reach out to them to get more of the story. She said she's very strong with a very strong opinion, right? And so, what I want to say, whether this is a woman or a man, becoming self aware and being understanding how you come off can be a challenge for anybody. It really can. Dr. Gail, how do I write a letter to ask you for some help with my wife? All you have to do, and I always will, I will tell anybody this: if you want me to do a chat, and I've had husbands and wives or whatever, if you want me to do a chat, all you have to do is either you can email me You can visit my website and email me, or you could DM me on any of my social media platforms. And just know that I will never use your name. I'll just say where you're from and the situation. Okay. So, but I will also remind you of that Omarion 7 before we get off of here. Okay. And so being self-aware is something very hard. And I remember years ago, Gil used to tell me, because for some reason, and I haven't figured this out, us loudmouth, big mouth women get with these laid back, kind of, laid back, soft spoken men, right? I haven't figured it out. There's hardly ever two loud mouths that gets together. It's hardly ever two laid back people who don't have much to say to each other get together. It's always a loud mouth and a laid back kind of, go with the flow kind of person that gets together. Well, as you guys know from what I do, I am the loud mouth and Gil is the laid back, kind of chill, mean what I say what I mean. I'm a man of few words kind of dude. And so a lot of people expect Gil to be a lot like me, and he's not. So what I gathered from here is that this lady she means what she says what she means, and she probably doesn't have any filters like I didn't. And so whenever you are not self-aware, whenever you are opinionated, whenever you are strong-willed, it can come off very combative. It can come off very disrespectful, especially if you have a husband or a wife, vice versa, that is laid back and non-confrontational. Okay, because she did say that he doesn't like to argue and he does not like conflict, right? So what I want to start off by helping this young lady is, for one, you have to be very self-aware of your tone and your body language. For me, I talk a lot with my hands, and to Gil, that was disrespectful because I'll be all over, doing all this stuff. Not that I was going to hit him, but he kept, was doing all that. He's like, why do you have to use your hands? So whenever I engage in a conversation with him, I have learned to sit on my hands so I don't become, animated and look like I'm being very confrontational. I have learned to lower my tone in order for us to have a conversation. So I try to match his demeanor and I try to match his tone when we're having an argument. Is it always perfect? The answer is absolutely not, because I am who I am. Have I grown? Absolutely, I have. Hi, Tessie from from Ghana. Oh wow! Thank you so much for joining me from Ghana. Wow, thank you, Lord. And so be aware of your tone and your body language, and this can go for a man or a woman, right? Be aware. So if you're talking at a 10 and you're waving your hands and you're doing all of these gestures with your face, it can come off very combative and it can come off very disrespectful. Okay. And I was not self-aware that I was doing that until Gil was like, man, I can't talk to you because you're doing too much. Right. So learn to tone it down. So what I learned to do is sit, put my hands under my legs, match his tone and match his demeanor as much as I could. Okay. Number 2 is stop talking so much and learn to listen, because it seems as if your husband is not one that's confrontational, as you said, and it seems as if your husband is not one that's keeping stuff going. You are. And again, I haven't had a chance to talk to this young lady. I haven't had a chance to say anything to her, but I'm just going by years of over 20 years of doing this, years of experience, that she probably is doing all the talking, bringing up all the situations, wanting to solve all the situations. So she's coming with the problem. She thinks she knows the answer, and she's not giving him the opportunity to talk, to hear it out, and to come with some suggestions. So stop doing all the talking and learn to listen. And that's a hard one, right? Because most of the time when you're bossy and you're loud and you like to take control, you don't listen to understand, you listen to respond. And this is a huge thing in communication. You got to learn to listen to understand and not always to respond, which is hard because the brain is wired when you're taking in information. The brain is already saying, what do I need to formulate to respond? But you don't always have to respond. You can learn to listen. Okay. So learn to listen to respond and not, learn to listen and not always to respond. Okay. And number 3, don't always think that you have to be the solution to the problem. Sit back and allow your husband to be the solution to the problem that you're bringing up or the situation that you're bringing up. Because again, it seems to me when he says you're not self-aware is, again, you bring a problem, you bring us or he might bring a problem, but you think you need to solve it. You need to give him tips on how to be better in the situation and all of these things. And that's not your job. He's the head of the household. So you don't always have to be the solution. You don't always have to be the person that solves things. Sometimes it's better just to close your mouth, allow him to make a decision, and then he'll come talk to you. And then if he asks for your opinion, that's the main thing. Ask for your opinion, then give it. Because again, it seems to me that you want your marriage. It seems to me that you want to be a better person for you to even reach out to me. So you're going to have to learn to be self-aware. And you're going to have to learn that you don't always have to be in control, and you don't always have to be so animated when you're in these situations. Because I'm sure you're not just animated at home. You're probably that way at your job. And maybe you have a job where you have to lead all the time. But we as wives need to learn to pull back when we get in a situation where we're dealing with our husbands, because a lot of times our behaviors can emasculate them and make them feel like, why even try to talk to her? Why even ask her for her opinion? Because she's going to take over the conversation and say, Gail, you don't know what. Yes, I do, because that was me. And that still can be me. And so you guys know I get on here and take credit for all my stuff, right? And so it seems to me, and again, I only got what she typed me. I did try to reach out to her to get more of the story. But again, if you are the person that is always in control and thinks you have to be in control and you always have to be right, that means that you're not self-aware, and that you're not trying to grow in your marriage. You're trying to control the marriage. And so I pray and hope that this has helped somebody in this situation, because again, not being self-aware, just if he keeps saying that to you, that means that other people think you're not self-aware either. They just not saying it. They just talking about you behind your back. Okay. Sounds like you explaining my wife. Well, I don't know if I am or not, but I can tell you that a lot of women deal with this, because again, we have to switch hats so much because we have so many different responsibilities. Not saying that you don't, but when we're out in the workforce, we have to compete and we have to put on more masculine energy than we used to in the past. Because again, if you're in a position and you're leading, staff or whatever, you don't want to come off weak just because you're a woman. So a lot of times we don't know how to balance that. And again, I don't know if that's the situation with this lady, but I know before I start doing this full time, I used to lead a staff of 562 people. And I was very hard, and I didn't know how to switch when I got home. And I thought Gail was one of my employees, which was horrible. So I had to learn that when I walked through the door, I learned this tool from one of my mentors, is when I walked through the door, I automatically came upstairs and I switched clothes. I switched clothes to something more feminine. Not that I was dressing like a man or anything going to work, but I used to wear a lot of suits and stuff like that. So I would switch clothes so I would know that I was in a different environment and that I didn't have to lead, that I could follow, if that's making sense. And so again, I hope that this lesson has helped someone along the way. Again, you guys, please keep your chats coming. It brings me joy to be able to come on here. And Wife Chat just celebrated 7 years. And it literally just started with me laying in my bed after a surgery, after my car accident. And I was like, I'm going to get on here and just talk about how crazy I am and my behavior. And literally 7 years later, I have answered, I don't know, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of chats. I think in the 7 years, I have missed 5 Tuesdays out of 7 years. So God is good to Gail. And again, you guys, please keep your questions coming. Again, I will never expose who you are. I will just say where this chat came from and how you can get your chat to me. You can either email me. And if you go to my website and just hit contact, you can email me, or you can go into my Facebook DM, my Instagram DM, or whatever, and just send it to me. And if you don't mind, people knowing, you can put it in. If you're on my YouTube channel, you can put it on one of the YouTube, things, or send me a private message through YouTube. Okay. And so again, you guys, I love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for all your prayers. I will keep you guys posted on the television pilot. And again, if you want to see me not only do Wife Chat, but if you're on my YouTube channel and you want me to cover any topic on my Thursday YouTube channel, send those as well, because I'm open to making sure that you guys get in strong, healthy relationships. And again, you guys, I don't take you guys for granted. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you every single day.